Even the greatest stuntman in Hollywood can have a bad day, especially when it's on a scooter. The unlikely challenge. There's a certain image we all have when it comes to Tom Cruise. He's the guy who's fearless, always ready to jump out of planes, hang off buildings, and do his own stunts in movies like Mission Impossible. But as much as the world has come to know him as the ultimate action hero, there's one thing not even Cruise could conquer, at least not with the same grace he displays in his movies. It was a typical day on set for Mission Impossible 7, and the crew was in the middle of filming a high-speed chase sequence. The cameras were rolling, the actors were ready, and the adrenaline was building up. But there was a surprise in store, one that no one had expected, least of all Tom Cruise himself. As the director called for a quick break, someone casually mentioned that the set had a few scooters lying around, and maybe Tom could try one out just for fun. After all, why not? Tom's known for doing almost everything on screen himself, from flying helicopters to scaling skyscrapers. Riding a scooter seemed like a small challenge in comparison. Tom, ever the good sport, agreed, perhaps a little too eagerly. "Why not?" he said with a grin, striding over to a nearby scooter that was meant for the younger cast members. He flashed the crew a wink and jumped on, expecting to breeze through it with his trademark confidence. But what followed was nothing short of comical. The struggle begins. The first sign of trouble came the moment he tried to push off. It wasn't a smooth takeoff like one might expect from the man who's jumped out of airplanes mid-flight. Instead, Tom wobbled a little, trying to get his balance. The scooter jerked left, then right as he tried to steady himself. The crew, who had been used to watching Cruise perform the most death-defying stunts, couldn't help but stare wide-eyed at what they were witnessing. Tom?" One of the assistant directors called out, trying to hold back a laugh. "Maybe take it a bit slower?" Tom, his face turning slightly red but still trying to maintain his cool, nodded. "I've got this." But he didn't. At least, not yet. He pushed off again, trying to gain speed, but the scooter had other ideas. As Tom started to roll down a slight incline, his feet weren't quick enough to keep up with the momentum. The scooter lurched forward, and Tom, who had been riding like a pro in his head, found himself swerving uncontrollably toward a row of parked chairs. With a startled yelp, he attempted to steer, but it was too late. The scooter clipped the edge of a chair and sent Tom hurtling into a small pile of equipment. He landed with a loud thud, and the scooter, now a casualty of his ill-fated ride, skidded across the ground, coming to a stop several feet away. Laughter ensues. For a few moments, there was complete silence. The crew was in shock, unsure whether they should rush to help or just let him get back up on his own. Then, as if on cue, Tom let out a hearty laugh from the ground. "Well, that didn't go as planned," he said, wiping dirt off his jacket. And then, something amazing happened. The entire crew started laughing. It wasn't the kind of laughter that came from mocking him. It was the kind of laughter that only happens when you realize that even someone as perfect as Tom Cruise could have a moment of pure human imperfection. "Maybe I should stick to running up buildings," Tom joked, getting back to his feet, dusting off his pants, and giving a mock bow to the cheering crew. Everyone was in stitches, even the director, who had been so used to seeing Tom execute death-defying stunts without breaking a sweat. The redemption. After his little scooter mishap, Tom took a moment to regather his bearings. He stood there, hands on his hips, looking down at the scooter like it had betrayed him. But true to his nature, Tom wasn't one to shy away from a challenge. He wasn't going to let this ridiculous fall be the end of it. Okay, he said with renewed determination. Round two. The crew, now fully entertained by this rare glimpse of vulnerability from the action legend, gathered around. A few even took out their phones to capture the moment. After all, how often do you get to see Tom Cruise, the man who can fight aliens and hang off planes, fail at riding a scooter? Tom hopped back on, and this time, he was a little more careful. He took it slow, his balance steady, his feet positioned just right. The scooter, perhaps sensing that Tom had learned his lesson, moved with much more grace this time. But just as he was getting into the rhythm, something unexpected happened. One of the crew members, trying to be playful, jumped into his path. Tom, caught off guard, swerved again. For a split second, it seemed like the scooter might betray him once more. But instead, Tom managed to pull off a ridiculous but somehow smooth spin that ended with him gliding to a perfect stop. The crew erupted into applause. Tom, flushed with a mix of relief and pride, gave a victorious thumbs up. See? Told you I could do it. The legend of the scooter. By the end of the day, the scooter incident had become a story that would go down in the Mission Impossible set folklore. Tom's failed attempt at riding the scooter became a moment of levity in an otherwise intense shooting schedule, and the crew, who had been working long hours under stress, was reminded that no one, not even their fearless star, is immune to a little slip up. Tom, always the sport, laughed right along with them, and as the sun set over the set, he joked, "Well, maybe next time we'll do a mission impossible scooter chase. But, I'll let someone else do the stunt work for that one." And so, while he may have taken a tumble on the scooter, the legendary stuntman had, in his own way, won the hearts of everyone on set. Not because he was flawless, but because he was human. And sometimes, it's those little moments of imperfection that make the best stories.